Morning, 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 everyone. This is Trend Follower this side, and it's that time of the week, the planning time, right? So last week was amazing, to say the least. Some success, some mistakes. Success, we'll get happy about. Mistakes, we have to learn from, and I will go through them. But the main idea of this video is to plan for next week, to see if there are any zones, any trade ideas uh, that we can, utilize and make money on. And also, one of the big reasons I do these videos are not to show just the trade ideas, but the reasoning behind those trade ideas. So that once you listen this, twice you listen this, third, fourth, after a few times, it may make sense, and then you will be able to build these ideas yourself, right? So we'll go through some reasoning and why we think some ideas are great. So let's start with the recap. I think we did extremely great in the previous weeks. So I will definitely show some of the great trades. One is that I wanted to show was this is a screenshot from the video of previous week. So this was where we said odd, I'm damn bearish on odd, and it can come in this region, right? And if you see odd USD, it exactly did that, like exactly to the T. And when that happens, that's the best time, right? Let me fix this one. Yeah. So here, this is where I said it can come in this region. If you look at the futures chart, it would be similar. But point being, I said this is the zone to look at. There's an I symbol also. But then it tested that and immediately fell. Did I know that just within last week it will come here? No. I did think it will come here. I didn't know that it will totally come there in just 1 week, and that's a big point. That extreme weakness in Australian dollar. Then, on using that theme, we built three stories, I should say, which was GBP odd. We said uh, I would target if. Let me open that screenshot. I said I would target when it comes here. I was already in this trade. When it comes here, I would target this and this here. There was a part of me which was trying to target this when I was in that trade, but I saw my 3 RR and I was like, I'm out, right? I would not lie, there was a lot of FOMO when I saw this huge move, but 3R is something I cannot just let go. So I got my 3 RR. Look at this beautiful move. Look at that star symbol. It was always there. You can see here itself. This was a great demand area, just went through, right? So this is GBP odd. And then we similarly said for Euro odd, Euro, we made a theory that Euro on all names should pop a lot because of this vacuum here. And Euro odd, look at what it did. Look at this beauty, right? So I said it should come here. I was uh I was planning to get in here and not exit here, but I was thinking this. At that time, I was thinking this here, but it never came to my entry. I was already in GBP odd, so it never came there. But then EURNZD was great. I don't know if I shared in last videos, but it was I think in last to last videos, last to last video. Basically, this here was I to be honest, now when I think about it, I'm not sure if it was in one of those videos, but I definitely took this trade. But I wanted to explain the reasoning. A quick check. This was a monthly block, and there I found right here monthly block, right? This blue line. And there what I found was just below this monthly block was a daily demand, so I took an entry here, took an exit here. I wasn't targeting all the way down there, but got my 2 RR. So we got great success on all these. Then the last one was I mentioned this area in CHF JPY, where I did mention that it should just be considered as a scalp. And what you will see in CHF JPY that it came in that area. So if we see at that screenshot again, it was this area. So it tested this area again here got this down, and that's what I took. So CHF JPY was exactly that. One of the awesome trades I also liked was NSD CHF. Uh, where I said it should go, not NSDCHF, NSDCHF, yeah. So in NSDCHF in back, I think it was 2 videos back, I mentioned this is an extreme zone. It's just 4 hours, but the combination is just awesome here. And it touched it and just went down. And there's a reason it went down. There's a reason why this became such a big trade. I didn't lock all the way, obviously, again. I try to just take my 2, 3 hour and get out. But there's a reason which I learned from, which I am ready to explain some, maybe in this video or in the next one. But point being, we have been doing well. Uh, but also point being, are there always like all good? Is everything all good? Not really. I did say CAD should act weak. I said CHF should act weak. With CHF, I did say like it's weird to me that I'm saying odd Australian dollar is should act weak and CHF also should act weak. So that itself was a red sign in the video, and I was careful during the week and watching the price action. I just wanted to explain when I changed my thesis on that. So what really happened was with respect to CHF, where did that go? I said maybe it will hold this and we bounce, right? What really happened, there was no price action here that shouted at me that it should bounce, right? Instead, this huge 12-hour candle. And so let me just roughly make this area. Look how the action is here. No sign of bounce, nothing. So that's where I was like, oh, so CHF, then the story matches perfectly. Australian dollar should act weak, CHF should act strong. It's vice versa, and CAD will not act strong, right? With respect to CAD, I also think I forgot one thing, which was around tariffs, so it had to act weak, which I was expecting should act weaker sooner, but it didn't, so I thought it's a sign of strength. That didn't, like, all in all, that was a mistake, which during the week I changed my thesis on it, but it's not easy to, like make a video on it or something. So I kind of changed it and mentally couldn't share much with the audience. But point being, all these are ideas, and you will have to, during the week, look at the price action to see some confirmations. Many times we will hit it right, right? Like, because, like, as I said, Australian dollar should act weak, right? But sometimes if some are wrong, you have to change the thesis accordingly, right? That's what I also do. Looking at the price action, I had to change my thesis on CAD CHF. So that's the recap. And now let's plan for this week. If you have seen my previous videos, you know the drill. We first look, the most important thing is we first look at the news, like what are some important news, and the news that we really care about right now is news for this week. So this week we have bunch of red news where there are some news that I am giving priority to, but I think slowly and from a long time I have been saying that the most important news is CPI, and it still has that importance. But now I think slowly and steadily the narrative is being changed, and the importance of job numbers and GDP would be higher. I think the narrative is building for recession or tough times because of tariffs and all. So I think it would be more on that. I think what I'm trying to say is CPI will still be important because, inflation, and it directly uh, affects the rate, but also there would be importance given to GDP, in my opinion, given to job numbers, in my opinion. So I think that importance will start. We'll see that going forward, if this thesis is correct or not. It will not like happen this week or something like that, but I think the story will now be around that more than anything. That's something I think will happen. I will see if this matches with what's really happening, and then that means it's correct, and we'll start going with that. And there's a reason I'm saying this, and I will explain this in after this news part. So with respect to news, we have Australian dollar GDP, damn important, CHF, CPI, damn important, right? So this one. Let me just make it big. So CHF CPI would be important. Then I think USD has non-farm employment change good. This euro would be damn important, like extremely important, because it's rate statement. Then we have CAD later in the week, and later in the week, basically it's non-form change and Powell speaks. So on Friday, it would be damn very important because the non-form numbers are very important start of the month. So there are two themes with non-form numbers, right? It can bring a lot of volatility. Second, the week can be choppy. So keep that in mind. Uh, that is very important to note. But again, this is later in the news, uh, later in the week. So for me, I try to get my week done by Wednesday, Thursday, and that's why sometimes I say that start of the week this should happen. Anyway, with respect to this, I think the most important would be Australian dollar GDP and then Euro rate statement and CHF CPI. That's the most important ones in my mind. So that's news where we'll concentrate on. In terms of strength and weakness indicator, I doubt you need a tool for this, right? But I will still show it. With respect to weekly, USD has started bouncing a little, right? And we did say that didn't show that in the recap, but I will just show it right now because we'll have to go through DXY. Uh, so with respect to that, USD has started showing some strength. On daily time frame, you were seeing lot of weakness, lot of weakness on Australian dollar on NZD and USD popping up. Uh, so I think our main focus would be on those lines. And before I even go there, before I go through the trade ideas, you really need to understand the themes going on in the market right now, right? So the first theme is tariff theme, right? I should say that should be the third theme, I guess, but let's let's just continue with this. So tariff theme, USD CAD tariffs will come into place on March 4th. So Canadian dollar would be very important this week, right? So that's first thing. The second theme is risk off theme. Now, risk off theme, why do I say that? The reason I'm saying that is that three signs happening right now. Three technical indications happening, or I should say four maybe, but three in terms of Australian dollar NSD damn weak, one, JPY damn strong, second, CHF also damn strong. You saw wherever it should have bounced, like for example, even CAD CHF, right? It could have bounced here, just broke it. And these kind of structures are very bearish. So CHF can start acting more strong, but point being CHF strong, right? USD in between, but strong, no doubt about it, right? So immediately, Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar are risk currencies, and money is getting out of it. And similarly, CHF, JPY are safer havens, money is going in it. And USD is also considered as a safer haven. Uh, Less in comparison to JPY, but it is, right? So you have this theme going on. Market is selling off. Market, I mean Nasdaq index. I shouldn't say sell off. That's a big term. I think at least I would say pull back for now. When it will sell off, I will use that term instead. But weakness is coming in the market too. So point being, the clear thing is risk off, right? We saw that clearly. Now, technically, we saw that also clearly, right? So we have to trade according to this theme. Does that make sense? Right? So we don't want to like just go into any names. We want to make sure we are going according to the theme. So my names, the names I've selected today are according to that theme, right? Or I should say according to those logics. So before going into those names and why we are going, let's build some story. So already we know the story is risk off, right? So first and foremost is DXY. We always try to look at it. So with DXY, we hit it again perfectly. I said last week that this particular action mostly is the action of bottoming that I think we should bottom now, but I would like it to go below this gap and then pop. And it did exactly that, right? So now we are still like it's still you have to remember this is still just first week of green candle. So it's not like we have just bottomed into it. It's not like we'll just go straight up, right? So that's the point to remember. I'm not saying we should just go straight up. I think with DXY, oh, sorry, it got changed. Where did that go? Yeah, I think with DXY, I would ideally like to see some kind of pullback before really shorting USD names, Euro USD or GBP USDs, things like that, or longing USD names. Point being, like, it can do it, but my risk to reward would be very bad, right? So I don't want that. So one particular area that I'm really interested in is I think when it comes here, it can pull back, right? Now, will it first come here or first come here? I don't know, right? I don't know that. But I know when it comes here, I would be interested. When it comes here, I would be interested. Mostly right now, at least for this week, I'm a little bullish biased on DXY. I want to see one more weekly candle to be sure because it who can argue that okay, the next can be damn red and we go down till here because ideally this is the perfect weekly supply for DXY strength. So most clear supply demand, I should say, is this region, and I would love to see that, right? But right now, my point here is on a little shorter time frame, I want it to come here, right? Why here? Is because you have this weekly zone. So if it comes here, I want to see how it reacts here. And that's where, and I want to combine it with other names. I will explain that and then go up, right? Otherwise, I can see the probability of weakness starting here, then pull it. So this. I would like this way or something like this. I hope I charted it right. But point being, this is the zone where I'm not looking to do anything right now. I would like it to come here. Then it can come back here, bounce from here, or like this. So this bounce I think can happen for sure. This pullback can happen for sure. So right now my focus would be that, and it will make sense when I go with other charts, right? Then I want to go, particularly I want to look into one chart, which is the most important one. Uh, I think I should say T, I think, but it will all make sense again. So I'm not sure if this is what's happening, but this is what I think can happen, and that's my bias right now on this. Because Euro USD have equal highs. So if I go to Euro USD, it has these equal highs. So I think what's really happening is most probably, you can definitely break this low on your, maybe all this is a bearish action and you can come down here. You can definitely do that, no doubt. But I would not say it's happening in this week or like that. So I don't want to like just say that it will happen this week, but I'm not planning for that. At least that's what I want to point out, right? So what I am thinking in general is it's still in this pattern formation, which is, let's say, almost equal highs here, let's say. Uh, I should just use this so that it would be quick. So this, and you have this. So I think it can bounce from here and then maybe come down, right? So I think you have this kind of structure where it's doing this, equal highs, then come down. I think that's what's gonna happen with Euro USD. At least I should say that's my thesis. And one chart pattern which I really like around that thought is, let me remove this so that it just becomes clear, is if I'm right about that, then you are basically saying there's a trend line that can get formed here. Then you are also saying that this is a nice weekly zone, and within this weekly zone, there are two zones which are really good, which is this, right? And which is this. So why did I show all this, right? The reason I'm showing all this is if DXY goes into that region where I think DXY should start acting weak, then this can be a small move to upside. Will we play this name? No. Will we play Euro USD? No. But the reason I'm showing you, it will make sense when we go through the trade ideas. So what I'm trying to say that these zones here are a perfect zones for Euro to show strength. And even better, for GBP also you will see the structure. There's this weekly area, there's this daily area. So I think what you can see is even if it goes down something like this, right? So I am not that bearish or technically on GBP USD right now because of this weekly fair value gap, but I don't know if it will hold or not because you're getting rejected from a weekly zone, right? But what I'm trying to say, most importantly, I do think this zone here will give some strength to GBP currency, right? Now, I hope this made sense. Now, there's a third one, which I want to show, the third chart, and then we'll go through the ideas, and now it will all make sense, right? So, am I futures here? So JPY pairs are rejecting from a weekly zone right now. Do we think this is the top? No. Why don't we think that, right? Because just because of the theme that's going on. But do we think it can give a pullback? Yes. Why? Because this weekly zone is in this monthly block also, right? So we do think JPY can start acting a little weak until where I will show that, right? So with respect to JPY futures, what is most important is the previous candle has been strong and all. I don't want to remove this. Let me just change this to monthly. Yeah, here, this. Okay. So with JPY, what I'm most interested is this area. Why is this area damn interesting? This area is extremely important, and I'm telling you, it's not like it will happen this week. It's not like it will happen next week. I don't know when it will happen. Point being, when it happens, please be ready. Why? This area has a weekly vacuum right here. So this block is that. And your this line here is previous month low. Within this area, what you have is a great 12-hour demand, which started this whole move here, right? So set an alert here in this area. Why? Because you have this 12-hour level on top of level. Once you test this right here, right, you are gonna go through this most probably, right? So monthly JPY has started acting strong, super strong, and I think that area is the best area of interest for me. Yes, right now I do think you can see further strength in JPY once it comes here and then go down there and then continuation, right? That's what I think. What I'm trying to point out is there are two patterns here. One zone is this. Let me open that 12-hour again. So one zone is this guy, right? So this here, right? So this is a daily demand right here, right? Which is just be below this, uh, and the other is below this. Now, I personally, even if I enter here, that means it's just for, remember, it's just for scalp. Why? Because, and when I say enter here, I mean like other current under JPY currencies when JPY comes here, because I do think that the probability of this is less for me right now, at least. It may happen, but I would rather target somewhere here, right? So that's where whenever I will go through the trade idea, JPY names in particular means right now, it's not like you will hold for weeks or something. We'll get your 2 RR and get out. Why? Because we think it can do this, this, and then go back up. At least that's what I think. Now, that is JPY, and mostly this will happen with this guy, with USD JPY, right? Because USD is also a risk off. So, but if you're taking names like odd JPY and all, so this whole move till here can even make a lower low on those names. Thought I should point it out, right? So we went through Euro, we went through GBP chart, DXY chart, and JPY chart, the good zones in them, right? Now, according to this, we'll use these zones and we'll build up some trade plans. I hope it made sense, right? To increase our probability. Now, with this, again, to quote again, we have risk of theme, right? So that means we will trade which names? Risk of theme and tariff theme. So that means we'll trade which names? Names against CAD, right? Names against NZD, names against Australian dollar, and yeah, so that's mostly it, right? So those are the some of the names I had to add. Yeah, this one. So should be right here. Okay. So anyway, so let's start with the first two pairs, which are very important, and I will explain why. They both are working in sync, which is two or four, I should say, Euro NZD and GBP NZD. But again, I would enter them when they're in the zone that I mentioned on futures chart, and I will just mention on the Forex chart also, right? So with Euro USD, there are two zones. One is this whole big zone. I wouldn't say I love it because it doesn't help me with my risk to reward, and we had this straight move down. So right now I don't think I want to get in on this, but once it comes here in this zone, right? So even let me set an alert here. Okay, so it comes on this zone, that's where Euro NZD, Euro or Australian dollar, that's where I will start focusing on them. In particular, the zones, the combination that would work perfectly is you have this weekly high right here, this one, right? So let me remove this. So you look at this chart on the left side, you have this weekly high, and then you have these great demands right here. It's level on top of levels. So I don't think uh, this area should break. I don't think this area should break, right? So, but then you will say, okay, should I enter here and my stop loss should be here? That's a big stop loss, right? So what I typically like to do at that time is I will try to match it with Euro futures, right? So if it's in that zone and we get that combination, at that point the price can be here, at that point the price can be here. Either I do that or maybe GBP Australian dollar gives me a sign, right? So with respect to GBP Australian dollar, again you have this weekly high, which I'm very interested in. You have equal highs at the top, which is great, right? So GBP, multiple GBP names have equal highs on top. So overall, I think if you're trading GBP to the upside, you are safe, right? Not, and I don't mean by GBP CHF or GBP JPY. I mean GBP Australian dollar, Euro Australian dollar, GBPNZD and EURNZD. Within that, if you trade GBP, that would be great, right? So here what you have is this weekly, and I think you can do this, right? Now, one thing I would mention is I like to have a daily demand, but we don't have a clear daily demand, which basically means watch for the price action here or confirm with the GBP futures chart, right? So I think I went through the GBP futures chart, right? So what I mean is if price is right here when GBP uh, uh, prices in this area, and with GBP Australian dollar, the price is in this area. If that combination happens, then I will take a long on GBP Australian dollar. So that's GBP Australian dollar and Euro Australian dollar. Why are they great? Risk off. Both have weekly up close candle, right? Also, with GBP Australian dollar, one thing which is beautiful, if you haven't seen that, is it just made a up close monthly candle. So once it comes here and you get that move, and let's say it matches with the futures chart, you would you can typically target this, but also much higher. It's a monthly chart, right? So I'm not saying do that or not. I'm just saying uh wait or like basically don't be greedy also, but it can be a good move, right? Sometimes the only thing that you it can get risky on is that basically the move is fast, you took the liquidity, you can go down and all that. But why am I not saying that is because the trend is up and we stay with the trend until the trend changes. We are very faithful to the trend, I should say, right? So the next name is GBPCAD. With respect to GBPCAD, what I really like is how uh, it is also following the theme. There is a small demand here, but then it doesn't help me with my risk to reward. So what I'm targeting is if it comes in this zone, which I don't know if it will this week, then I will play the upside. Again, beautiful chart because you have a clear drawn liquidity. The trend is clearly up. I think monthly also had an up close candle. So if it comes down here, I will play upside. Why am I not just playing right now? Is when you have such a move straight to the upside, like these, I typically try to stay away unless there's a pullback, right? So I would rather have a pullback and take that, just to be safe. You will always get another chance. Maybe it never comes here, but form some demand here, and next week you get that, right? So we can be patient around that. Right now, this week, if it comes here, that's when I will trade it. That's my idea on GBP CAD. So the next is Australian dollar CHF and NZD CHF. And I said I will tell you why I think it's gonna act. Sorry, it acted the way it did. It did. I knew it, but I knew it at the start of the month, and you sometimes forget, right? So all this is happening because basically risk off, right? There's nothing against fundamentals, but you should also know the technical reasons, and technical is it's rejecting from a monthly block. And I think odd CHF also, yeah, odd CHF is also rejecting from a monthly block, which is damn important. I wish it didn't form this equal high, and then I would have been more confident on this. But point being, this was a monthly block, so the huge rejection. And now what you have here is a trend line, is a clear trend line. So I think what can happen is you do this, right? Now, with respect to odd CHF and NZD CHF, again, risk off theme, both of them have some kind of drawn liquidity. If you see this, both of them are rejecting from monthly. So this would be like the topmost uh, uh, currency pair to trade. Why would it be topmost? Is because this has all the combination, drawn liquidity, theme, following theme, and news. CHF has news this week, right? So this one would be that. I typically again don't like to, think that, oh, the next candle would be down. I think this week what we want is some kind of bounce. Hopefully not there, but like bounce and then rejection. Then next week it continues, right? But I think what we are gonna see is this. Both Australian dollar and CHF, sorry, Australian dollar and CHF has news, yeah. So I think with respect to Australian dollar, any move to the upside, basically any strength in Australian dollar is most probably manipulation in terms of technicals, right? So on weekly chart right now, what I do like is so if you can see, right, there's no clear daily demand, sorry, supply, but what I have here is a 12-hour combination. So what you will see, I want to show you, how do I this I have to zoom in so it makes sense. Here, let's focus on this, right? And let me temporarily remove this. So where did that go? Yeah. So one block, okay. Then one, then one, right? So level on top of level. When you have such so many levels, the first level you don't give much importance because of risk to reward. Yeah, if it rejects here, goes down, makes a lower low, then it comes back up, then we can take an entry, but not right now, right? So let's bring all that back. So here, what I think is this zone is damn important, and what I want to see is price coming here and then we go down. Not like that, sorry. Price coming here, we come down, then something like this, right? Point being, this stop loss is not that bad, or this entry is not that bad when you target this whole thing, right? So just for the sake of example, let's say you do something like this, example sake, right? So this is how much? 3 RR. So it looks like a huge stop loss, but I wouldn't say it's much, right? So that's Australian dollar CHF. Keep in mind, both are rejecting from monthly theme news. I already said it many times, but the reason I'm repeating myself here is because this one is damn good chart. Let's go to NZDCHF. Again, you have the same combinations. Yes, you can completely go down from here, but I'm targeting this region. Same thing. Having said that, if it matches with any futures chart, which I think I didn't go through CHF, I should have. I'll just go through it. Then that would be higher combination. So what I really want, I couldn't find a daily supply, but ideally, what I would like to see is both of them coming together in these zones on Australian dollar CHF and NZD CHF. But this zone here is something which my primary focus would be. Then obviously it is possible that you have this huge move and you come here and then you can get rejected. I don't want to target that this week because after this huge weekly candle, I have a feeling that would be more of a noise. So if you're wrong, you're wrong, but at least you should try this zone in my opinion. Uh, this and this combination. So that is Australian dollar NZD CHF. So now the next is Euro NZD. So here I just again I think it's in both, right? Okay. So Euro NZD and GBP NZD. I wanted to go through that. Okay. So again, I don't with these NZD names. The problem is there's no clear daily demand or supply. If there was, then it would have been damn easy. So what we'll do is, what that means is, we'll have to kind of wait for some price action there. But you should definitely know the zones, and that's what I'm here for, right? So in here there are two particular zones. One is again the theory of it should have rejected here with this area, but it held it, tested multiple times. So can we just do this? So depends on what. I want the euro and GBP, any euro GBP I want to trade. I want them matching with the futures chart. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't have a clear daily demand that I could find, right? I do have lower time frame demand. So I think one which is really good is you have this demand here, then you have this demand here, and then you have this demand here. So again, level on top of level. And again, the argument is you may think that's a lot of block, but the way Australian dollars are pairing up, and if we get this continuation of this huge move, then the move to the upside, downside, whatever, depending on the currency, can also be big, right? So keep an eye on price action here. Be mindful that if you want a better combination, then it should come from the futures chart also, like that particular combination. So with Euro NZD, I really want to see price action below this and we get that move, right? Similarly with GBP NZD, this one is a beautiful confluence, not in terms of daily demand. I still couldn't find much demand, but what I really like is why is that line? Yeah, okay. So is you have this monthly block. So if price comes below, you are in this monthly block, right? So on GBP, as I said, GBP has most monthly up close candle firstly and these blocks. So if price comes here, then you may get a big move and the order flow itself was on monthly is damn bullish. What do I mean by that? It's respecting all the monthly highs and lows wherever possible, right? So not going too much into that, but on weekly, what is beautiful is you should have rejected here, but you just cut it like a butter, right? And then you have this weekly highs and you have this. So the amount of confluence here is crazy, right? So this, I really would like to see price here when when GBP chart on futures also goes down and matches with our whatever the explanation on that particular chart was. In terms of supply and demand, what I found here was, I think it was eight, yeah, it is 8 hour. So what I found here is great 8 hour demand here. Great 8 hour demand here. Right. Damn it. Okay, point being the boxes right there. So you have great 8 hour demand there. So I do think it can bounce from there. Now, I should point out one particular thing. Just because I didn't find a daily demand here doesn't mean it cannot bounce. It has to come here. It cannot bounce from here. It can bounce from here. So the reason I say that is because right there are some small demands, not high quality, right? Which basically what I want to see is when price comes here, let's say comes below this, right? Then I want to see what's the reaction. And if it's strong, then I will play something like this. So ideally, I would like it to come here and I can play this. Great, good, right? But if it comes here, right, and bounces like this, then I can play this also. That is something I'm just preparing you guys so that like it's not like maybe it happens and I'm not making this video right at that time that this is the current price action and all that. So I'm just saying like be mentally prepared that if price comes there, shows clear action. I did Ideally I would like to see a clear daily demand, but my first priority would be not first priority, but in combinations, I want to either see a clear demand form there or I want that to match with the futures chart, right? So that's Euro NZD and GBP NZD. The third one, the next one is USD CAD. We did talk about it. We have seen everywhere this kind of zone is not matching it, is not helping to bring the price down, especially if it's CAD pair and it's strong currencies. And as I said, USD is also one of the risk of currency, right? So, but in this chart, uh, the beautiful part is that the demand is clear. So what you have is, where did that go? Yeah, you should have rejected here. but you didn't. And I think it's on monthly, yeah. So you have you right here, this line, right? So I think what I would like to see is this monthly level, this weekly level, more importantly, the weekly level hold its ground. You have this huge candle, so you pull back and come back up. So, what I like about this chart is this daily demand here, right? The only concern here is you can pull back from here. So, what I mean by that is basically when you come here and you take this trade, don't target all the way there. You don't know that it will happen. DXY has not shown like an extremely bullish chart right now. It has started showing strength, but it's not gonna happen in a week. So I do think if it comes here, I'm ready to play to the upside if I get my 2 RR and maybe plan for higher high, but not more than that right now. What I think can happen in future is again would depend a lot on DXY chart forming more. Right now, DXY is just telling us the tail that yeah, it has started showing strength, but it's just first week. Uh, so I would like to see more proof of that, more proof of strength on DXY. But the good thing about here is that the chart pattern for a quick trade this week is clear for us. It has shown strength. Other CAD is showing weakness. Tariff news. There's a daily demand here. It should have gone down. It didn't. So this zone can act like demand. So that's it, guys. I think that would be it for, oh, with respect to CAD. Yeah. So this is all according to story, which is, I do think with respect to CAD, you have to try focusing on EURUCAD, GBPCAD, CADJPY, and CADCHF. Uh, so I will just quickly go through them because right now the charts aren't that clean. The reason I'm showing this is because you never know if this happens and you should be prepared. With respect to EuroCAD, if a daily demand, remember, if it forms, then great. I don't think it may. What I would like to see is price coming in this daily demand and then I will play it. So if EuroCAD comes here this week, I will play it. I think that would be a great combination. Otherwise, we'll see what happens, right? Similarly, on CADCHF, uh, I don't like this chart so much, but there is what I want is price to come here, so in this 8 hour zone, and then I will short it, right? Or otherwise let it form the weekly candle. Right now, I couldn't find a nice daily supply here, right? But what I found was this 8 hour grid. Where did 8 hours go? Okay, maybe I'm not able to type. Just a second. 8 hour. Yeah. This 8 hour zone, which I really like. There is a zone here also in between, right? So, but here, what I mean by that, yes, it can get rejected, but I would let the price action show that. So if it does something like this, then I will trade this, right? Otherwise, right now my focus is here. I don't think it should reach there, but what I've learned about one thing in trading is don't overthink. So if it comes here, then I will take that trade, right? And in the other case, as I explained, what I would like to see is how the price acts here, right? So that would depend on that. The reason I, one of the good things about CAT CHF, if it doesn't go down at the start of the week, is equal lows here. So please, I should move this to teardrop. So CAT CHF has equal lows here, CHF has news. So I would like to see price action here. Otherwise, I will short here, right? Uh, where did EuroCAD go? CADJPY. Yeah. So with respect to CADJPY, it just rejected from a weekly block. That was a perfect rejection. I do think that there are two combinations that can happen. One is One is you reject from this daily supply. So you have a daily supply here. What is good about this combination is you have this chart pattern. Where did that go? Yeah, the daily supply here. So you have this chart pattern, which is this formation. So you can just go up and down from there because CAD is acting weak. Having said that, JPY chart, futures chart is something where I showed the zone, right? So it should come in that zone for me to trade this. So with respect to CADJPY, there are two zones. One is I explained this one. So I do think you have this kind of structure being formed, and you can do like this, right? So I think, and then maybe go up or down. Point being, that's the structure, at least on CAD that this zone is very, very important. The second structure, which I really like about CAD is, let's say we get a huge bounce and there's some kind of manipulation. So you have this zone here. Let me show that here, right here. So in this case, because of it's in the weekly and everything, it should have bounced right here. It didn't. So either you can get a rejection right here for quick scalp, but ultimately I love this zone on CAD JPY. If there's a big bounce, I would rather short it here. So that is CAD JPY. This zone I really wanted to point out because this one is beautiful. There are multiple combinations here. So keep this zone in mind. In this case, don't just try to take the preferred version, go with the whole candle because there are multiple combinations. Then yeah, with respect to Australian dollar JPY, it should act more weak than anything else, with respect to JPY and all. So with Australian dollar, you will have to see how it acts during the week. But there are two zones again in this. So to clean this up, let me remove this. So what I mean by that is this is a weekly low, previous weekly low, right? So there is a zone here which I will show, and then the daily zone. So let's start with the daily zone first. So there are multiple combinations here, right? So this. So you have this daily zone, and then you have these zones. So within these zones, if I go to 12 hour, this was during the week because I should remove it now because I think this one is a very important zone. But the problem is with this zone now is you form this low liquidity run candle, right? So what I think is within this zone you have this higher zone, and within that you have a daily zone, right? So this whole confluence, I think your best is this overlapping area anywhere here, right? So for me, Australian dollar JPY, I will try to get here. Now let's look at it again from the weekly perspective. So on Australian dollar JPY, you will be above this. This zone here is above the previous week low. So let me remove this. And yeah, so I think this zone is great. Let's say this zone doesn't work because of whatever reason. I really think it should. I think max you can just go here. So I think this zone is my favorite for Australian dollar JPY. Else, let's say it comes all the way there. Then there are some zones here. I can show that in 8 hour. This one is a star zone. There are some logics I use to put the star zone. So then it can come here, right? But remember, Australian dollars JPY and NZD JPY, if we are on risk of, shouldn't pop this much. So I doubt it will pop that much. You may have to look on how JPY is performing during the week. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. For this week, I don't have anything else as such. I hope this made sense. Try to stay with risk off theme. That's the main message of this video. Try to stay with news of CHF direction with like price action according to that. That's the main goal. But keep in mind, whatever you trade, try to stay with risk off theme, and that's easy money right now. Don't go against that theme. Don't try to long or Australian dollar or NZD names. Don't try to short JPY or I should say like don't go against basically don't go against the risk of theme and you will save money. If you don't want to trade risk of theme because for some reason you're biased or because of price action you think that no, this is wrong, at least this week or like at least 1 or 2 weeks till the price action confirms, don't go against the risk of theme. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I hope this helped. I hope this made sense. If it didn't, please let me know why it didn't or what didn't so that I can improve in that area. But I hope you get some trades this week from these ideas. Uh, and we will continue making these, help you learn from these ideas. But all the best for trading this week, guys. Have a good one.